Hello traders and welcome to another video review. Today is Wednesday, September 4th, 2024. Let's find out what is going on the economic calendar today. There was some overnight data released from Australia and from Japan. AIG manufacturing index deteriorates from minus 19.5 to minus 30.8 in Australia. And the GDP is in line with the expectations, 0.2%, with the annualized GDP at 1% as expected. Japanese services PMI deteriorate. Oh no, they are the same. They are worse than expected and the same as the previous one. Its actual number. So it's not that bad at all. It looks like the services PMI in Japan stay at the same level. In China, Caixin Services PMI were below the expectations of 51.9 with the actual number of 51.6, which is worse the previous number of 52.1. Russian services PMI increased from 51.1 to 52.3, and we are still waiting for the speeches from the Elderson from the ECB, and then we got the series of the services PMI and composite PMI data releases from across the Eurozone and the UK since 9:15 till 10:30. We got all of this data scheduled for release. So busy morning during the London session. Services and composite PMIs across the Eurozone are ready to be released. The Polish interest rate decision scheduled for this at 2 o'clock, and then we start with the US session trade balance scheduled for release at 2:30. This is trade balance from Canada and from the US. Then we got the export and imports as well, and the key event of today, Bank of Canada interest rate decision. The market participants expect the Bank of Canada to cut the interest rate from 4.50 to 4.25. This event will take place at 3:45, and at the same time the Bank of Canada rate statement will be released. JOLTs Jobs Openings from the US are scheduled for use at 4 o'clock, together with the factory orders at the same time. The data from the New Zealand Global Dairy Trade Price Index will be released. At 4:30, there is a Bank of Canada press conference scheduled for release, and then we got Atlanta Fed GDP now at 6 o'clock, Beige Book, this is the Fed Beige Book at 8 o'clock, and at the end of the day at 11:30, we got the API weekly crude oil stock. So, as you can see, the major event of the day is during the London session PMI releases and during the US session Bank of Canada interest rate decision and JOLTs Jobs Opening. So because of that, let's take a look at some special pairs today. Maybe we'll take a look at the US dollar to the Canadian dollar first. So as you can see, this is the daily time frame chart of the Canadian dollar, and it looks like this Canadian dollar is looking quite strong. The recent bounce was made from the level of 1.3439. Very nice technical support. We can see the bullish engulfing pattern extension to the upside. Yesterday we were rallying higher, so the bulls are up to something. We don't know yet, but it looks like the market is positioning itself ahead of the interest rate decision. The major short-term technical resistance is located at 1.35.88. And you can see that this is just below the 50 and 100 periods moving average on the daily time frame chart. We are moving higher from the extremely oversold market conditions. Right now, the RSI is at the level of 40 points, and there is still a pretty good chance that we will go even higher on this with this market before the interest rate decision is done. However, as you can see, the market is still positioning itself ahead of this event. Let me just place an arrow for you guys to see key short-term technical resistance. Okay, so there's no doubt about it. There you go. And of course 50 and 100 periods moving average. Right now it's really difficult to say whether this situation is significant for the bulls, because as you can see we were doing a very nice slide to the downside, almost the waterfall formation. Let me just change the line to the orange. Let's say it is orange, and we broke above this trend line, so that might be interesting. And why this is interesting on the daily time frame chart, because very nice aggressive sell-off took place from the highs of 1.3945, and the breakout above this trend line might indicate that the bulls are ready to rumble. Bulls are ready to move way higher than they are right now. Yesterday's high 1.3561 might be easily violated today, so please keep an eye on the US dollar to the Canadian dollar. What is going on the euro to the Canadian dollar then? Daily time frame chart is showing us again movement to the downside from the very interesting levels here, from the levels of 1.50 to 30. That was the last swing high, so now it will act as a technical resistance, and the recent one was 1.5179. Is there any corresponding level on the left? No. This is the high from 2023, and we will not be talking about it, because this market is slowly moving up. The trend is not that much impulsive. Nevertheless, over the 1 year period, we got some kind of a higher high and higher low, so that's a particular definition of the uptrend. Nevertheless, let's just take a look what's going on the with the recent price action. So we got the zone located between, of course, there is a supply zone between 1.30 to 30 and 1.4595. so this is the zone technical support, and it's a very important one. Now we move lower as on the euro, as on the dollar to the Canadian dollar, towards 100 periods moving average, bullish engulfing pattern, and bounce to the upside. We got a little help from this low here, so we might place some kind of a, there you go, some kind of a zone here as a demand zone, with eventually new low located at the level of 1.4891. But we bounced quite significantly from this lows. Nevertheless, we didn't actually retrace any significant level, but RSI is below the level of 50 right now. We are bouncing from the level of 38. Current RSI is 45, so the market might not be that much keen to move higher with the euro to the Canadian dollar, and it looks like the market might be up to something right now. If we take into the consideration the Fibonacci level, so let me just find out. This is the last swing low. Let's say this is the last swing high. This movement to the downside moves towards the level of 50%. So roughly around this level here, we got another very important level, 1.4913, which is the 50% of the Fibonacci retracement of the whole movement from the very bottom to the very top. All right, so that's another quite significant level that might help bulls to bounce even higher. So please keep an eye on the current situation on the euro to the Canadian dollar as well. What is going on then on the British pound to the Canadian dollar? Let's just take a look. Daily time frame chart, as you can see, perfect example of the uptrend. Higher high, lower, higher low, higher high, higher high, higher high, higher highs all over the place. This market is trending. We are above 50 and above, we're above 100 periods moving average, crossing up and down above 50 periods moving average, so that's all right as well. And the recent high was made at 1.7846, technical resistance, and the last one was made just a few last week at 1.7863. Since then, we got the situation when the market is, of course, moving a little bit lower. Below, there is a 50 periods moving average, and now it's testing this market, this level from below. We got the situation when the low is 1.7870. sorry, 1.7678. So that's the technical support. Rather weak one, but I'm wondering how much did we retrace. So let me just place the retracement again to see how much did we retrace from this low, let's say, to this recent high, and it looks like, there you go, we retraced 38%. 38% level is located at 1.7688, and we got a nice bounce from it. And now the situation is a little bit unclear, because that might be only the wave A to the downside, that might be the wave B, there might be wave C to the downside. It looks like the momentum is moving lower as well. We hit the level of 50 on the RSI daily time frame chart, please notice. Then we bounce a little bit, but this is still very weak RSI, 53 points only. So we might see further deterioration to the downside today as well on the British pound to the Canadian dollar. Please be aware of the Bank of Canada interest rate decision cut from 4.50 to 4.25 is expected. Now, last but not least, let's talk about the Bitcoin, and the Bitcoin is doing exactly what we wanted. Our scenario is almost perfect. We still deteriorate lower. We need to move lower because there is a need to develop the wave 3 to the downside. So this is still a part of the wave 3. However, it's not that much impulsive. It's not that much impulsive, so the scenario is still okay, but this is kind of tricky here. Tricky part here. Local low was made just a few hours ago, 55,606. And this is not the low that we should be worried about, because we broke below the technical support. The next one is 54,365, and that's not even the target for the wave 3, because there is not enough impulse here on this during this situation here. We might be seeing some sort of the wave 2, very strange wave 2 in terms of the complexity of the cycle, because that might be some sort of the let's say complex correction, not the simple ABC, but some kind of a complex correction. This might be the wave 1 of wave 3, wave 2 of wave 3, and now it's a wave 3 of wave 3, the strongest, the most aggressive and dynamic wave to the downside might be just ahead of us today. And then when we're done with the wave 3, there is a correction to the upside, wave 4. And then, of course, there is a chances that we will do the wave 5 to the downside as well. So the outlook remains bearish for Bitcoin. That's everything from me for today. Thank you very much for watching this analysis, and I hope I see you guys tomorrow. Take care and bye-bye.